What's up everyone, it is Dark Viper and I am here to give you a bunch of tips on how to improve your aim in shooters. A lot of the tips I'm giving you are going to go beyond Arsenal or Roblox. They're just generic tips that are going to help you across the board. So I get asked a lot, hey Dark, how do I improve my aim? Like my aim is so bad, how do I improve it? So I've actually been playing for many years, but I can tell you these tips I'm going to give you are going to probably help you overnight. After you practice some of these, I think you're going to get a lot better. If I'm referencing something, probably going to be referencing stuff from Arsenal or other games like it on Roblox. Again, you might be able to use some of this stuff on other shooters, but let's just assume that it is based on Roblox for this vid. So tip number one for aiming, you need to get your sensitivity down. If you don't have the proper sensitivity, you are not going to be able to shoot very well. Even the best shooter players have some struggles when their sensitivity is off. It makes it really hard because there's that flick movement. See how I flick? There's that flick movement that you can't do if you don't know what kind of sensitivity you're supposed to have. So if you have mouse movement like this, how am I supposed to, I have to flick the mouse over and over to get it. I'm kind of stuck because what if someone's to my right and I go like this? I can't get to them, right? And if you speed it up too much, then you're like, I want to go here to here, but the guy's here. I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna overshoot it. Or if I see him here and my mouse movement's too slow, then it's gonna take me a while to move it to him. So first thing we need to do is we need to figure out your sensitivity that is optimal for you, because without that, you can't really aim very well. And I would say if the only thing that you can take out of this video is sensitivity, that's okay. That's probably going to improve you right away. So you need to get that muscle memory going, because having the right sensitivity means you can go from here to there in a precise flick of the wrist very quickly. And because it's just like driving, it's just like anything. If you don't have the muscle memory, you're gonna have to relearn things all over again, and you're gonna have to practice again. So what you're gonna do is, in order to test this, you're gonna be basically doing this. So you don't even need your gun. You can use a knife for now because it's the same camera speed. So first thing you're gonna do is you're going to find 2 points on the map. If you have someone that's willing to help you out, then great. But basically what we're gonna do is we're going to start the mouse here and say this guy's coming up at you, right? He's got a gun or he's got a knife, and you got your pointer here. You're going to try to move your crosshair from here to him as fast as you can. So you're going to go here to there. See how I didn't make it? So you're going to flick it. I just overshot it again. So that means I'm getting closer. It could just be practice, but I'm overshooting it a bit, right? Overshooting it. So I need to adjust my sensitivity a little bit. So I'm going to dial it down to 0.19. Don't worry about my sensitivity. I have DPI settings. So my mouse is actually going faster than the client. I'm getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. I'm still overshooting just a little bit, right? So in that case, I'm going to bring it down to 18. I'm going to do it again. Spot on. That's much better, right? Still overshooting a little bit. But that is just muscle memory now. See, I'm going faster. It's not always spot on, but what you're doing is you're getting used to it. So now if I had a gun, I can go boom, flicked on them, right? Close. You're going to want to flick your wrist to it, and you're going to be able to dial your sensitivity based on that. So you're going to step it up now. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a point on the map, and you're going to go and shoot at it. Let's look at this light post. You just pick any point. I'm just going to give this light post for now. So you're going to find a point on the map, and what you're going to do is you're just going to move around, right? You're going to keep that crosshair centered while you're moving. So you're going to strafe around. You're going to move backwards so you can get the distance. You're going to get a little closer. Your goal here is just to keep the crosshair on the object while you move, because what's happening is most players are going to be like this, right? And that's not how you're going to win. You're not even hitting, you're not even on them. So what you need to do is keep that, you have to adjust your mouse crosshair movement. And this is all muscle memory again. Now let's add some firing to it. So now we're moving around, we're shooting that and trying to keep the crosshair on it. Try your best to keep on it. And then you're going to get some distance on it. Your goal here is just to shoot it. So now you're strafing around. We're good. That's pretty good, right? So now what we're going to do is a step up. So it was pretty easy with a stationary target. Yep. No problem, because you can just go back and forth. Now we're going to circle around a target. So what we're going to do is now you need to strafe endlessly around something. So this is a little bit more advanced movement, but you need to keep that crosshair on your target. So if they're facing you, it's harder for them to keep up with you because they don't know how to do this. And if you practice this, now this is a little harder on slower sensitivities like what I've got on right now. So you typically will want to have a faster sensitivity to be able to do this, right? It's so much easier when you have a faster sensitivity. And I'm doing a bad job right now of showing you, but basically you can see this. So then you're shooting, you're circling around them, it's so much easier to confuse them on your movement. And you can circle back if they're starting to track you, and you just practice doing, you know, strafing in circles. All right, next thing we're gonna do is I wanna show you how to lead your targets, because this is a very important thing as far as Roblox is concerned, is you're basically leading your target so that they run into your shot. As you saw when I was running, I wasn't chasing him with my crosshair, right? I was leading him into my crosshair. So you can see here, I'm ahead of him. I don't have to chase him. So now I can just wait for his crosshair, boom, boom, right? So I'm actually able to wait for him to run into my crosshair. It's just a little bit easier to aim that way. If I was chasing him, now I'm having to have that precise. I'm just constantly like, right? I'm trying to chase him with my crosshair. Instead, I'm just like, oh, I know he's gonna run into that eventually. Boom, right? And then same for something like this for a rocket, you basically lead them as well. And I know he's gonna eventually come right here, right? So I'm just gonna wait. And I'm gonna go pink. I knew he was gonna come here, so I'm like, okay, boom, shot him. So that's how we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna show you another shot of me leading him. I know he's heading that way, right? And so I'm gonna go ping, 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 ping. That's just the best way to do it. And you can see where I was aiming on him. I was aiming kind of close to his chest and his neck. You can aim for the head if you get more skill over time. You wouldn't be watching this video if you could do that. I'm assuming that you're trying to improve your aim in general. So in that case, what you're gonna wanna do is a lead. See, I just got a headshot because I led him. And you can still chase, you know, and as you get better with your aim, you can still chase them with your crosshair, but you're gonna see that it's just so much easier to get better at this game. The next tip I have is crosshair placement. So if you're running around the map like this, then you gotta fix it. You gotta fix this. Or if you're walking around the map like this or that, you gotta fix it. Look, if I ran into him and I started firing, what am I gonna shoot? I'm gonna shoot in the floor. That's dumb. So you really wanna be aiming at the height of the opponent. So if you know that they're about this height, that's where your mouse should be, right? So you should never have your mouse here. Keep your mouse kind of neutral and in what they call a neutral position. You can also bring it up a little bit more if you know how to do that. And like I said, if you know how to do headshots, you can bring it up. I would say keep it body level. That way you're not gonna miss, especially if you have a shotgun. You don't really wanna be using shotgun to the head too much because you're missing a bunch of bullets. With a shotgun, you aim dead center to their body so that the spray actually hits multiple times. I'm going to show you a couple of tools that you can use to help your aiming. I would definitely recommend aimtrainer.io. It's linked in the description if you want to check that out. I also have aiming.pro, which is also linked in the description. I'm going to show you both of them. First one we're going to start with here is just the regular challenge. So you can go to aimtrainer.io, click on challenge, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and play this, and I'm going to show you how it helps fine-tune your reflexes and your aiming skills. And it just gets exponentially faster, and they just start popping up faster and faster. This is a really great way for you to warm up before you play. So you can see I hit 33 targets, 100% accuracy, final speed. So that wasn't very fast. I'd love to see some of your scores in the comments, but definitely a great way for you to train your reflexes. There's also a couple other trainers in here. You can do a custom challenge. You can do double shots. You can do precision based. This one's kind of cool. It also shows you reflex for timing. So like precision is going to be a lot more about smaller dots on the screen instead of those other. So you can see right here, they're smaller. So this is great for sniping. And then I'm going to show you this one, which is aiming.pro. It's actually pretty cool. We're going to quit this. We're going to start on Target Frenzy. And it's going to load a 3D app. And the cool thing about this one is actually in 3D. And you got like a 3D weapon, so you can click. It's pretty cool. And every shot that you do, it actually shows another one. So that's Aiming Pro. Definitely check out these apps. I have them, again, linked in the description so you can play offline. So another thing I would recommend is check your surface. If you are on a mouse surface that is reflective, like maybe you're on marble or maybe a shiny surface that has a lot of color or allows a lot of light in it, you may want to actually get something else to place on it. Even honestly, a sheet of paper. If you got no other options, zero other options, even a sheet of white paper would actually help you a ton. Just again, you don't want to have a reflective surface. Like there's certain people that I've seen don't even have a mouse pad and they actually have like a glass surface. That is like the worst thing you can put a mouse on. So definitely check your mouse pad if you can get something that's just pretty basic. There's a lot of different brands out there that are also cheap. You know, a decent mouse pad's actually not that expensive. You can find one for probably for $5, or you could just find something, like I said, if you have some other kind of material surface that you can make that is dull and flat, so you don't have any issues with that would be ideal for you. So one of the things I would recommend if you play with sound on, definitely learn sound. That's a really great way, especially for 1v1s, so you can hear when someone's nearby. So you can hear different surfaces as well. Now I know someone's on grass, right? You'll know what kind of weapon someone has based on the sounds. That helps a lot. Another thing I would say is learn the map. So you don't always have to play the game while a bunch of people are on. So find an empty server or empty-ish server and just run around. learn the map, understand where things are, and just kind of travel around and kind of mentally bookmark things. So this is this corner. Look at some landmarks here. You can see, okay, there's a gate here. Okay, there's a building here. They often spawn over here. That's the other side. There's another spawn on that other side. So you learn the spawns. What are some choke points? Are there any tunnels? So you're just going to kind of run around the outside of the map for a bit so you can understand the boundaries. You'll understand the map better if you just kind of run around like this. What are some hiding spots? Where would I hide? Where can people hide? Where can you get ambushed? So you want to learn the map. So you can see there's an inside here. People can camp in here. Easy ambush, and then you can come in here. Okay, this is another hiding spot people are going to hide in. So if someone's coming in this building, for example, I know, okay, there's an outside right here, and I can ambush them, right? So that's how you do it, is you know the paths. So you know, okay, if someone goes in this building, you know they're going to come out this way, right? Generally speaking, newbies don't really turn around. So as you're progressing in your skills, you might want to start doing some 1v1s with people. One of the things you're going to notice is most players have a pattern. They do the same thing all the time. So they don't really change things up that much. They might do one or two. They're all patterns. So there's not that much variety. So in this case, a lot of people also have comfort. So there's some players that like the comfort of like being open and top. So they like to have like the above view like this. They feel comfortable being high up so they can see all kinds of choke points. They can see no one's going to sneak up on them, right? And that's one type of player. Then there's the type of player that's like, I want to hide all the time. I want to go in a corner, right? They're always going to be like this. And then they stay back here and then they stay down here. They don't like being out in the open. And then there's a player that does the pattern of I want to sneak around behind you. And those are a little bit harder to track. I would tell you that when they do that, generally speaking, they play like that the entire time. Is what they'll do is they'll be like, instead of going the typical spawn, so like typical spawn on a map like this is that they're going to come around here, right? So they spawn back here and they come around and they do the same thing every single time. They spawn right there, or they spawn down here, and it's like they're robots. They're like, oh, I spawned here, so I'm going to go up here. And then I'm waiting right there, meanwhile, waiting for them to come up so I can headshot them, right? So because I expect that. Now, you get an experienced player, what they're going to do is they're going to be like, oh, I spawned here. And then they're going to make sure they see movement. Oh, they saw me. So now I'm going to change movement. Now I'm going to wait. Oh, they think I'm going that way. So now I faked him, right? Because he's probably going to start heading that way to box me in. So there's just different techniques you can use to and tactics to be able to be less predictable in the game. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, this is Theo here. We're going to do a little bit of a 1v1. It's going to be short. We're going to go like say first to 10. All right, so I'm here to observe his patterns. What I'm going to do, we're going first to 10. I'm going to show you, I'm going to read off his patterns that I'm observing. So he's up top. First note is I'm going to look for consistency with him being on the top. If he likes to stay on the top of the building, then we've found one of his patterns. And we're going to know where to look. Is he still there? Yep. All right, so we think we saw one of his first patterns is staying up top. He might be a little bit more of that style player where he feels more comfortable being on top of the surface. Yep, there he is again. So he's up top again. Now this map does kind of, give you an advantage if you are in this area. This is the best place to be. But one of the things you're going to see, though, is he keeps going to the same spot. So I don't really have to guess where he's going to be. He's going to be down here next, maybe. Got him. So he does like the top of this area. He's going to generally, any of his spawns, he's going up. Unless he spawns at the bottom, I did notice he comes out. Okay. He likes to go to that side as well. Got him. That's just because I knew he was going to go there. So as long as you know their pattern, you're good. He's there again. So if you know someone's pattern, you can pretty much just control the entire game until you get stuck with a weapon like this where you have to change it. Say another tip, this is not related to aim, but if you know someone's got a shotgun, stay far away from them. And if you know they got a sniper, get close. Do not give them range. So I know he's got a sniper still, so I got close. That's how you can control the game. If they've got a shotgun, get away. Just keep picking them off from a distance. Now, if you have a shotgun, you're gonna need to ambush them, unfortunately. So another thing you wanna do is learn how a weapon's bullet spread works and its accuracy. So here you can see this is gonna be dead on. Very precise weapon, no matter the distance. I click there, it's precise. Okay, so now you can see as I spray and unload, see how it's crawling up? See how it goes up? That means while you're holding down, you're actually losing a ton of accuracy. But if I don't hold it down, you can see it's real accurate. It resets each time. It's still crawling up, but not as much. Now, what I could say is you can also hold down and move your weapon down as you're spraying. So if you know that's how this weapon works, you can kind of slide your crosshair down slide your mouse down as you're shooting, now you get a tighter spread. So you're not see how it's crawling up on him. You basically, you go against the recoil. So you can see I'm actually moving down while I do that. And it's super, see, I know I'm hitting it now. So that's a little bit more advanced. You gotta learn that for every weapon as well, and you gotta memorize that. So that's a little harder to do. The other thing you can do in this game is change your crosshair. So what you can do is you can go into settings and then adjust your crosshair color here. So you see I can apply more red, I can apply more green, I can make it gray. To make it a neutral color, I can make it black. I can make it a white crosshair. It's not a bad idea to stick it to a neutral color. I'd recommend that, or red. You can also adjust your field of view. So I have it at 70 right now. Generally speaking, on most games, I hit it at 120. I think mine actually got reset recently because I think I was hitting it at 90. But you can see what field of view does. When we go back here, we're going to deploy. And you see the camera, then the weapon looks really, really long. And then the camera feels like I'm further away from things. It just helps you so that for close combat, you don't have to move the mouse as much. You can see them a little bit easier. And so like if you get really close to him, and I'll show you the differences between field of view. So if I get really close to him, he's to the right of me, you can see him, right? So I'm going to show you the differences in fobs. So you can see him right here, right? So I'm going to bring it at 70. I'm going to go back to where he was. So you only see his weapon, right? So you can only see his weapon there. But before we saw a little bit of his shoulder. And you can see his hand now. It's a little bit easier to see him as well. Around corners, you're going to see people a little bit easier. You're not really going to miss it. The problem with this one is that they look really far away. So you see, that's not actually very far, but he feels like he's so far away. You can check your monitor refresh rate. I'm going to show you how that works. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to display settings. You can also just type in display settings. That'll open this up. And you can see my crazy thing. I have multiple monitors, so that's why you see all this. But what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to this monitor and we're going to go to advanced display settings. And in here, you're going to see you got this display selected. And then you can see right here, I've got 74 Hertz. So I'm going to actually go to my Zowie. And you see it's at 59. That's actually awful. It's really awful. Somehow it got reset. So what you can do to adjust that, that's actually really slow. That's a horrible refresh rate. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on display adapter properties. And then you can see it looks something like this, right? It looks like you got like the adapter, you got like the chip types, you got all this kind of information in memory. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to monitor, and then you're going to select this, and you're going to put it as high as you can. Ideally, if you have 144 Hertz or 120 Hertz, at least 120 Hertz is nice. You can do 60. You're basically 59 and 60 is basically super slow. It's really slow. But what you want to do is make sure your stuff's at as high as possible. 120 Hertz, I would recommend if you're a shooter fan, like you really like playing first-person shooters, this is the one to do. At least this, or higher. So what that means is if you see your screen, it kind of has a little flicker. What's happening is information is being displayed faster when you're on a higher Hertz. You're going to be able to see things so much smoother. Gameplay is going to feel so much smoother. Now, of course, Roblox is limited to 60 frames per second. So it's not going to be a huge help on Roblox. It will feel a little bit better no matter what. But you're gonna notice this more so on like a game like Apex. You're gonna be able to see things faster than other players. Like I've actually seen significant improvements in my shooting on non-Roblox games that have higher frame rates just from changing over to 144 Hertz. It's night and day. You'll notice it the more you do it. If you were to go back from 144 Hertz and back to like something like 60, you're gonna be like, dude, this feels so slow. It is a huge difference. You might not notice it at first, but once you get used to it, your eyes are gonna acclimate to it and they're gonna be like, oh, what is going on here? So we're gonna actually switch this back over here. And you see now it says 143 Hertz, so 144 Hertz technically. So you can see the game probably feels a little bit better. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's gonna be a little bit more on my end than your end because it's just a video. But I would tell you this game already feels so much smoother with it on. I would say though, it would feel even better if I used an FPS unlocker, which I don't use. I have done it once and it actually feels way better. But I would tell you it's a little easier to play with it just limited to 60. I don't know why, but I feel like because of the lag in the game, it just is something that's not the same. Now for something like Apex, like I was saying, that makes a whole lot more sense. So one of the things I would tell you is track your targets and know who's around. So right now I see one target, I see two here. So what I'm going to do is I'm always going to target someone that sees me first. So you know someone's up there. So you also look for projectile movement. So if you see bullet movement, you know someone's shooting at someone. So you know that they're going to shoot you next if you don't kill them. So I always track that kind of movement and it helps a ton. So I see he's aiming at someone. So I also look at my teammates. If you're doing a team-based game, I look to see if they see someone. Basically, use all the information that you can while you're playing. So you see this guy, I actually shot at him first because I knew he saw me. This guy next, he killed me. So I see, I'm assuming these guys are bad. Okay, there's another one in here shooting. This guy behind him. There's 4 here. The one in the back sees me, but he's kind of out of range. That guy sees me. All right, we're good. I'm assuming someone's coming up this way. Yep. I think someone's up top, but I'm gonna look to see if this guy gets killed. No, he didn't. But someone was up there. Someone's across. Someone's down. Someone's right here. Someone's right there. So you track everyone. I see gunshots over here. Yep. I think someone went in here. Oh, someone's above. Got him. Looking for gunshots. Oh, there's someone being shot up here. I think someone was behind here. Looking. Someone's in here. He's shooting at this guy. I think there's one more. So it's all about tracking and knowing your targets. I would also say if you're close to 3 targets, shoot the one that's looking at you. Always prioritize that one. And also remember where you got killed. Guy all the way over here. Doesn't expect me. Thank ya. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it did help you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you have any other tips to share with other players, please do. I know there's a lot of pro FPS players that watch me, and definitely put in your 2 cents. I'd love to hear it. If you have any additional tips or anything like that, I'd love to hear that kind of stuff. So put it in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see y'all next time. Take it easy.